All right, I guess, hey, it's time. And listen, folks, you know what? Caveat, disclaimer, star, right? I don't ever want to see someone lose a fight this way, okay? I feel terrible for the Chris Weidmans of the world who've gone through this. I feel bad for Anderson Silva when he went through something similar. But I got to be dead honest. The disrespect, the places Conor McGregor went with the trash talk, the karmic hilarities and points that I'm about to bring together, that when you connect the dots, you know what it shows? When you connect dot 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, you know what it comes out? And the image that you see at the end? It's Dustin the Diamond Poirier with his hands in the air, winning 2 of 3 against Conor McGregor, straight up. Did I want to see the fight end like this? No, I did not. But Dustin Poirier takes out Conor McGregor. I mean, even saying takes out, I feel like it's a little too strong of a word, right? Conor McGregor breaks his ankle, steps back, essentially rolls his ankle, but his ankle said, you know what? I'm out of this bitch, and just folded up. Al, I hate to say it, man, but you're on Poirier. I'm on Poirier. We bet Poirier. We're taking that win. I'm sticking to my guns because you know what, folks? Leg break or not, I don't care Conor McGregor's leg broke. You know what was going to happen in this fight tonight? You know what was happening in this fight tonight? The better man, the more skilled fighter, the more complete fighter in every way, the guy who won every second of this fight until it was over, Dustin Poirier, was dominating, was going to dominate, and was going to finish Conor McGregor, broken leg or not. It was only a matter of time. Dustin Poirier goes out here and whips Conor McGregor's ass, okay? Conor wanted to take this fight to a dark place. He said a lot of shit that, I'll be honest, Al, all week, you know what? I had this, there was a smell. You know what it was, Al? Desperation by Conor McGregor to try to evoke an angry, emotional, a loading up, a stiff, a tight, a slow, a telegraphing Dustin Poirier. He was trying to goad an angry Dustin Poirier into coming forward aggressively, ignorantly, because guess what? He did it to Aldo. That's why we saw Aldo get slept in 13 seconds. Aldo, literally, they said, all right, here we go, fight start. Aldo said, asleep. And that's what Conor McGregor wanted. He wanted that angry Poirier to come out here, and Poirier just crossed his legs, sat back, pointed at the clown, and laughed all week. And I said, you know what? This is the desperation attempt of Conor McGregor to convince himself. All week, Conor McGregor's talking all this stuff, Al. And you know what I could feel? There was a different feel this week, right? Usually, Conor McGregor, when you hear him talking, he's believing what he's saying, right? Whether he's high on a substance, whether or not, he's got that confidence that's a real rarity, right, in sport, to just be overwhelming confident. And I feel like a lot of times early on, it was Conor McGregor believing in that, trying to get everyone else, the public, to believe it as well. And it worked a lot. And we even saw that this week. I think we saw a lot of people get swayed yet again by the big talk of Conor McGregor. We know we did. The casual fan base absolutely took this bait. I mean, hook, line, and sinker, right? Hook, line, and sinker to the bank. And that just wasn't the case. Conor McGregor wasn't out here talking trash this week to try to get the public to believe. I felt like this was a man saying all this, trying to reinvigorate belief in himself. I could see the unsureness. I could see the stiffness, the aggression, the uncertainty, the desperation of Conor McGregor all week, trying to find that one thing he could get Dustin Poirier to make a mistake. Dustin Poirier comes in here, fights just a systematically perfect fight. I still do have questions. Was it that check of Poirier that set up the injury? I do believe it was. We saw in the instant replay, Conor lands the foot, and it's really the closer to the toes. It was the top of the foot, but he hits pure knee, right? And I believe that a shockwave essentially went through that lower ankle of McGregor, and I bet he did hairline fracture that ankle. Now, he's stepping back on it. He's fighting the fight. The fight continues on. But sure enough, man, that crazy exchange where both guys throw at the same time, no one really lands. Conor goes to step back. The toes don't make it down. The weight, it just goes. His ankle just goes. And I got to say, one last thing before, Al, I let you run with this. Conor McGregor, first one to shoot a dusty bitch. Conor McGregor initiates the grappling first. The first one to get a takedown is a dusty bitch. Conor McGregor shoots the takedown first. Only knockouts count in the sport. Conor McGregor jumps guillotine in the first round against Dustin Poirier. Al, when Conor McGregor jumped that guillotine, the fight was over. I said the fight's over. This man's mentally broken, and he's out here. Riddle, has anyone ever seen Conor McGregor attempt a guillotine in their life? And you're going to go out here and guillotine Dustin Poirier in the first round. I mean, don't get me wrong. Had he pulled it off, the world would have shattered. And did my man Poirier get some toes in the cage to kind of help get that off angle? Yeah, he did. But you know what? Conor's out here, fingers in the glove. I don't know if people noticed, but when Conor was throwing those up kicks, he was hooking his fingers in the glove of Poirier, trying to pull Poirier down into those up kicks, which, let's keep it real, if you're going to cheat, which I highly recommend because referees don't really do anything about it. As a matter of fact, if I was like a head coach, I would train groin kicks, eye pokes, cage grabs. That'd be a part of the arsenal because as far as this sport goes, the only thing that really matters is not landing like a knee to the head of a downed opponent. That's an automatic loss. They get to go out there, throw an Oscar-worthy performance, and steal the win, right? But
unless you're in Asia.
Yeah, there you go. But hey, nonetheless, man, Dustin Poirier, like I said, I got to just wrap it. I got to come back to where I started here. The leg break, to me, it's tragic. Does it give Conor McGregor that out where maybe we see this fight a fourth time? I think so, but I'm going to tell you right now, Dustin Poirier beats this man handedly if they rematch again, and he was beating the dog shit out of him tonight, and Dustin Poirier was going to win this fight whether or not Conor McGregor's ankle blows out. Al, take it away.
Yeah, we got so much to digest of what happened here. That exchange where they both missed each other, that's like out of a Rocky movie, you know,
right.
Like, and for that to lead to the leg break, but that it's shades of Sean O'Malley, Cheeto Vera. You know, he kicked them, he checked the leg kick and he pointed, you know what I mean? If you go back, he pointed at him and was like, I got you. Yep. And that hurts. And that leaves your foot numb, right? Which will end up making something like that happen when you go to throw a punch. You know, you go to throw a punch, your forward momentum is making your feet go forward. And if your leg is, you know, partially broken and you have numbness, you're going to roll over. It's shades of Sean
Absolutely.
O'Malley. Exact same thing. And the best line of the night was Poirier said, "Karma's not a bitch, it's a mirror." And the fact that McGregor said Poirier was going to leave in a stretcher, McGregor left in a stretcher, it's poetic justice, you know.
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Coming away from this card, you know, and again, it is tragic. I'm not happy Conor McGregor broke his leg, not at all. I was going to cash a Dustin Poirier ticket tonight, regardless of Conor McGregor breaking his leg. I truly believe that this fight was over. But I will say this, from a karma standpoint, from the MMA world tonight found its balance. Okay, everything now has found the righteous pathway, I feel like, and we saw essentially karma in effect in a way I don't think we've ever seen before. Dustin Poirier comes in, gets booed out of the building. I mean, you'd think Las Vegas would be, you know, a 20-minute drive from Dublin, Ireland, the way this fan base supports Conor McGregor in Las Vegas. I got to be honest, man. This right here, this fight broke down to, and I know I'm going to offend some people here, but public money, dumb money was Conor McGregor tonight. Sharp money was Dustin Poirier, and that's exactly how it played out. Dustin Poirier, the better fighter, the better man. He deserved this win. He was going to get this win, and I feel like we've found balance, and we can now move forward in the world. And Al, I talked about it, man. There were two very distinct timelines. If Conor McGregor won this fight, he's going to be fighting Du Bronx for the belt, and people would forget about all the failures. That's just how this game. It's such a "what have you done for me lately" mentality in this game, right? Whereas now we look at Conor McGregor and it's just loss after loss. Finish, broken leg, tapped out twice. Habib, Nate Diaz, the loss to Floyd Mayweather. I mean, we're in another universe as far as Conor McGregor from where we were 5, 4, 3, even 2 years ago. I mean, one win over the stiff, broken shell that is Cowboy Cerrone in a fight that lasted a minute that I still have moronic people trying to tell me was a fixed fight. Listen, folks, I'm not, this is not a joke. And I've just got to bring this to people's attention because I've seen this. There's people who think Conor McGregor breaking his leg tonight was a fix. Okay. That's not a joke. I get on social media and I go, oh my God, the most popular comments on a lot of gambling, reactions to this was rigged. If you think Conor McGregor, I guess had someone surgically break his ankle before the fight tonight so that we could have, like you said, Al, a Rocky moment where they both throw down the pipe, miss, and then Conor could step back on the ankle and break it off and stand on his peg leg, ankle shin bone. I don't know what to tell you, and I don't know what I can ever tell anyone. That there's, it's just unbelievable. Al, like I said, the way it played out. Again, I'm not going to say I'm happy because I just don't want to see it play out like that. But I am absolutely happy that I was on the right side. Poirier wins this fight. If they fight again, it's max bet Dustin Poirier. I truly believe Dustin Poirier wins this matchup where these guys are at currently in their lives 9 out of 10 times. I really do believe that at this point. And he showed it tonight. Tonight was even a bigger wipeout than what we saw 6 months ago. Conor McGregor had far more success 6 months ago in that first round than he did tonight. Dustin Poirier, I guess potentially our next future champ. We got to talk about that. Al, is there anything you want to say here about this main event before we start taking a look ahead?
Yeah, just two things that I want to mention. Poirier is now 16-5-1 in his last 22 fights dating back to 2012. 11 of those 16 wins have come by stoppage. If you've bet $100 on Poirier inside the distance since 2012, you're up $1,084. He cashed at plus 155 tonight inside the distance. And then on the flip side, I've been talking about this for, since this rematch was announced. You've made more money fading Conor McGregor inside the distance than you have on any other prop for or against him in his UFC career. You're going to add another one to that tonight. So he's now lost 4 fights inside the distance. So a $100 bettor who's bet against McGregor inside the distance is now up, $357 with a 4-9 record. And this is a guy who is now 3-5 in his last 8 professional fights and 3-4 in his last 7 UFC fights. Mystic Mac is now a myth. There's nothing else to it. And when he was being overly aggressive in this fight, it was just playing right into Dustin's game. And it's Dustin played him like a fiddle, really. It wasn't Poirier that was on edge. It was Conor. Everything that he wanted to do to Dustin, he did to himself. You know what I mean? He just, as soon as the bell rang, it's like he whatever game plan went out the window. Why was he doing the guillotine? Why did he go for the grappling? Why did he go for a takedown? You can just, he didn't game plan that. He just lost his composure. And Dustin Poirier is what people think Conor is. He's totally the real deal. Could be, besides our man Khabib, could be one of the greatest lightweights of all time. Like, this guy is just, he's making a good case for some legendary status, UFC Hall of Famer bar none. And this was very satisfying as someone who's just, had a bet on Poirier, but is also just a giant Dustin Poirier fan. The way that this turned out, and just not even a part of the leg break, but just the ground and pound and the way that he played it, it was perfect. And one other thing, I think it was revealed that somebody at Circa Casino walked in and placed like a $50K bet on Poirier. And then after the fight, I think it was revealed that it was Floyd Mayweather put a $50K bet on Poirier inside the distance. So that there's probably more of a chance that Conor ends up in a ring with Floyd again than I think that he does with Poirier. Because if I'm Poirier, there's no chance I let him come in for a fourth fight. Conor would need to get like 2 more wins at lightweight if I'm Dustin Poirier to even acknowledge there being a fourth fight. Because
Al. Well, I mean, first off, we're talking Conor McGregor out for minimum 1 year. I mean, that might even be rushing back, in my personal opinion. There's just no way Poirier sits waiting about with the gold still on the line out there. You know what I mean? We're going to see Dustin Poirier fight probably 1, 2, maybe 3 times, I think, before we ever see Conor McGregor back in the octagon. And folks, I'm not kidding when I say this. That might have been the last time you see Conor McGregor in the octagon. I mean, I'm going to keep it really real right now. He doesn't need the money. He's not the man he was. This is a guy who I said coming into this fight, he does not have the movement he used to have. His movement, right? When he was playing touch butt in the park with Ido Portal, that truly was one of the things that set McGregor apart. His movement, his ability to flow, his flow state, and his ability to get off angles, his timing, his speed. It's just not what it is anymore. He's not that guy. And now we're talking about a flat-footed, stationary McGregor who just broke his leg off. I mean, what do you think we're going to see this guy more fleet-footed now? Do you think we're going to see him lighter than ever coming back off of a broken leg? Not at all. Not at all. If anything, this pushes McGregor further down this pathway that it's just not the same man. It's just that simple. This is not the same guy. And now he's taken a traumatic injury. Listen, what do you think? You think Conor McGregor throws another leg kick the rest of his career? I mean, there's a chance this guy is going to be scarred from this. There's a chance this guy becomes hesitant. And again, he already wasn't that dude anymore right now today. This is not going to help. This is not going to be, we're not going to hear in a year and a half, I've got to be honest, Megan O'Leary, the leg break was the best thing that ever happened to me. You know what I mean? That's not how this is going to play out, okay? He's not going back to the drawing board. He's not going to be some guy that comes out there hopping on one leg, doesn't need a lead leg. This is it. I'm being dead honest when I say I think there's a very good chance that might be the last time we ever see Conor McGregor in the octagon, maybe in a combat sport format at all. This guy's got some real soul searching to do. And are there other fights out there? Is he still going to sell? Absolutely. The guy's got an absolutely ravenous, dedicated fan base who, I mean, drop to their knees and open their mouth and are just ready to gargle. Even though this guy's lost, I mean, fight after fight after fight. They just don't care. They stick with their guy. I'm sure the pay-per-view sales were off the charts. And they're going to be if Conor comes back. But, man, I just think there's a chance that we don't see this guy. What is there left? I mean, all this guy's doing is dirtying, sullying the legacy. He was a desperate, unconfident man in just reaching for. I really felt like the guy was grasping for straws all week, and I could just see this dude. You know, the belief even in himself is just not there anymore. And the one thing Conor McGregor had beyond anything was that self-belief, to where this guy literally manifested into being the first champ. But that's deep in the rear view, and just a world away at this point. It's just another universe, that McGregor and this McGregor. I wish him the best. I hope he recovers. Like I said, I'm still a fan. Am I a fan of what he does outside the octagon? Not at all. But I absolutely respect what he's done in the octagon, the growth, the attention he's brought to the sport. I appreciate all that, but I don't know, man. Conor McGregor is at a pivotal crossroads, and it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out. And as far as Dustin Poirier goes, we know what's going down. It's Poirier Oliveira, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in 2 or 3 months. Dustin Poirier did not need a doctor after this fight. This dude came out of this. I mean, this was a light spar for Dustin Poirier. He was putting in harder work, you know, getting in rounds with Masvidal 2 weeks ago than what he had to do tonight, straight up. This was one of the easiest fights of Poirier's career, straight up. And what's next? The shot at the gold. Al, what do you think?
Yeah, Jolie's wife is now 2-1 and against McGregor and ready for a title shot. And I'm just checking now. What are the odds on Oliveira and Poirier? Oliveira is the underdog.
Dustin Poirier. Yeah, I think it's Dustin Poirier minus 185.
I see on FanDuel minus 130, Oliveira plus 120. And then I see it's not even referenced at our good friends at Best Fight Odds. Dustin Poirier is like a minus 185. Yeah, and Oliveira plus 155. I got to say, you know, we'll put this into context, but, you know, for first of all, when do you think that fight would be? It's got to be in the US, so it probably won't be one of those Fight Island events that's coming up in like October. I could see this being like New Year's, maybe that works out, or something like that. And I gotta go Dustin. I gotta do it, Dustin.
Yeah. It's a phenomenal fight, first off. And, you know, Al, I almost feel like Oliveira's ready. Oliveira, I think, if they would have said, hey, you want to warm up in the back for 20 minutes and come out and fight Poirier tonight, the dude probably would have done it. The dude's about that life, you know what I mean? But I honestly feel like the ball's probably in Poirier's court. I would honestly understand if this guy wanted to take, 6 months, after the McGregor saga, right, at this point. Like I said, though, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a quick turnaround. He's healthy. You know what, though? I say he's healthy. There's a chance they go back and he goes, you know what, now that the adrenaline stopped flowing, you know what, I maybe do have like a foot fracture or something up with an elbow. Who knows? But I think we'd see this fight sooner than later. And Al, that's a good matchup, dude. And I'm very intrigued by these odds, Do Bronx is just a different animal now. But you know who else is a different animal? Dustin Poirier, dude. So all I know is I'm way hyped. This is the outcome. Like I said, not the exact outcome I wanted, but I did want to see Dustin Poirier finish Conor McGregor tonight. He gets it done. Al, we're back on track. We cash those big main event bets. That's always a good feeling, man. Should we take a look ahead, my man, Al?
Yeah, I mean, there's a plethora of stuff coming up. Just really quickly, I just want to, as a part of the look ahead, I just want to handicap this Poirier Oliveira fight a little bit more.
Okay.
It's very interesting if you look at these two guys, their records. I think Oliveira is like 19-3 in his last 22 fights. and Poirier is 16-5-1 now in his last 22 fights. Oliveira has won 14 of his last 22 fights inside the distance, and Poirier has won 11 of his last 22 fights inside the distance. And when it comes to like the units, as I always talk about for the inside the distance prop, they're like neck and neck. Poirier is at, I think, what did I say, 10.89 units on the inside the distance prop, and Oliveira is 9.98 units inside the distance. Basically what that's saying is that a lot of times Oliveira has been not as lined as high as Poirier has been. Poirier has, cashed some huge underdog prices on the inside the distance line, whereas Oliveira, there's been some fights where he's been at, the prop for inside the distance is sitting at like minus 190 because he's had a couple of fights where he's kind of just been set up along his run. I would have to see more where this line goes, obviously, but when it comes to just all around ability, just to have seen what Chandler was able to do with Oliveira. I know Oliveira is a dog, but I feel like this, just as we've heard, all throughout fight week, how much a trilogy changes a fighter. I feel like Poirier has chiseled himself to a whole other level here, and not taking anything away from Oliveira, but if the line stays in that minus 130 range, I would lean further towards Poirier here. What do you think?
Well, right now, man, it's like these numbers are all over the place. One book's offering this, another book's offering that. I mean, like as it stands right now, I'm actually pretty intrigued by that plus 150 Oliveira. Like that, and I think we're going to see this level out. I think we see this fight go off. Poirier is absolutely going to be the favorite. But I'm just wondering where this line settles out at. And I'm thinking it probably does sit around. I think Poirier probably goes off somewhere around a minus 170 to minus 185 range. That's where I see this fight playing out. And at that number, God, Al, I just don't know, man. It's just such a good fight. Both guys so skilled in every area. Poirier just, I mean, straight up, is there a more complete mixed martial artist than Dustin Poirier? I mean, just straight up, like I talked about, the guy's not flashy. The guy's not Mr. Highlight Reel, but the dude does everything really good. Who has he not looked good against? The greatest fighter of all time, Khabib Nurmagomedov. And that's about it. He lost some fights early on, got finished. But just right now, this dude's just hitting on all cylinders. And it seems like as that fight stays standing, you've got to think Poirier has the advantage on the feet. But, man, Charles do Bronx Oliveira looks so gnarly on the ground. His takedown in wrestling has improved so much. It's a tricky one, man. I think if Oliveira gets on Dustin's back, it's going to play out very similar to what we saw Khabib do. I really do. I think there's a good chance Oliveira gets on dude's back and finds a choke. Is he going to be able to get there? Is he going to be able to withstand that barrage and that stand-up game of Poirier? My God, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish I could give the people a lean right now. I cannot. I got to get into some extensive tape to even begin to wrap my mind around this matchup. And a lot of times I'll even start to kind of get the wheels spinning, right? Get the gears turning because we knew whoever wins this fight fights Charles Oliveira, plain and simple. And I felt like this fight, I was still so analytical, so balls deep into this fight that I couldn't even look ahead. I said, let's just put all that off. Whoever wins, I'll roll forward. I expected it to be Poirier. He gets it done. I'm just going to leave the people with this, man. This is going to be a great fight. And whoever wins it truly is outside of a Khabib Nurmagomedov return, which I got to tell the folks again. Even I got to let Dana White know because apparently the dude still is hitting up Khabib. Khabib's not coming back, all right? So it's going to be Do Bronx or Poirier coming out as the preeminent lightweight champion, and it's going to be head and shoulders above the rest because, we know Poirier should have had a shot at the gold if he wanted. He said, give me the money with McGregor. He gets it done. Let's be honest, though. So far, this has been a picture-perfect plan and layout to the title for Dustin Poirier, and he's marching right along, hitting every stride. And you got to think this guy's got some serious momentum. I mean, we saw Do Bronx knock out Michael Chandler, but, I mean, we're talking about a Bellator guy with one win in the UFC, and straight up, Do Bronx got hurt in that fight. Got hurt early, recovers and wins the fight. Dang, all I know is it's going to be a banger. Al, what do you think, dude?
Yeah, this will be one where I will say, similar to the Oliveira Chandler fight, that the under and the fight goes the distance no, especially the fight goes the distance no, will be an L word for me.
They're cashed. I mean, I truly believe that, Al. Those tickets are cashed. I'm so with you. I don't even see that fight making it to probably the third round. I really do. I think that fight's wrapped up within 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's
almost certainly.
It'll be a very similar fight to Oliveira Chandler. And then one other thing, I know that the reason that they did it the way that they did it with Oliveira Chandler is because they didn't want to put Gaethje Poirier together, seeing how they both just lost to Khabib, and it kind of diminishes your title, which we'll talk about when we get to the UFC 265 in a second. But they wanted to put Oliveira Chandler so that one of them is a guy who didn't lose to beat Khabib. And now you got to look at it like, even with Poirier having lost to Khabib, right? He now beat Conor twice. There's no diminishing that title now if Poirier ends up getting it. Even with the loss to Khabib, it's just like, it doesn't matter. Khabib's gone now. If Poirier wins that belt, he is going to put himself up there as to one of the greatest UFC lightweights of all time. And this is like a bloodshed super fight because me and you have been, we've both been so high on Oliveira. We've both been super high on Poirier. This is the type of fight that I want to see a trilogy of. You know what I mean? Like, these two guys are like, it feels like they're like made for each other when it comes for a big title fight. Like, this is, I don't know how much this is going to resonate with the casual fans, but like for diehard MMA fans, Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier is a super fight.
Lightning in a bottle, dude.
Yeah.
It's going to be off the charts.
Yeah. And like I said, that under, that's my first look on this, is the under, and then fight goes the distance no, which will definitely be at like minus 300.
Yeah.
But still, minus 300 is minus 300. You could, you could do some good things with that one. And that one will not go the distance.
Yep. And Al, man, I got to tell you, dude, I usually get a pretty, hey, listen, I'm going to toot my horn here for just 1 second. I'm real good at picking main event winners. Like, it's documented. Look back at what I've done in 2021. Your boy don't miss on a lot of main events. This one's got me scratching my head. I mean, I really don't have like a gut lean either way. And I'm not big on overs or unders, but Al, I'm so with you, dude. I just think that fight, both guys go in there, go for it, and somebody finds the finish relatively quick. So that's how I'm going to look at this fight, and that's probably the angle I'm going to take, really. I don't know if I'm going to end up picking a side, which is unfortunate because I'm usually right. So